All right, folks at mcstockcharts.com. Welcome to my daily review. Today we had a kind of a lackluster day on the index. You can see that it pulled back ever so slightly on lighter volume, so no distribution days or anything like that. It did it was higher earlier in the session, and it's still 4.2% above its 21 EMA and still in a power trend. So just kind of summer type action today. I do want to point out one thing. If you look at the Nasdaq on the 5-minute chart, you can see that it ramped higher and then sold off into the close and kind of flattened out. So which is, okay, it went up. It was due for a pullback, right? But if you look at Apple today, you can see this big candle here was made a new high, then pulled back after the announcement. This is with a classic buy the rumor and sell the news. It was a widely anticipated event here with their developers conference. You could see the last couple of days been ramping higher, ramping higher. Today gaps higher, and then Tim Cook takes the stage and sell the news to after the announcement of their new product. So that's it for Apple. You could see the correlation between the index on the 5-minute chart and Apple on the 5-minute chart. Just whoop, see you later. Nice little gains, and then they're all wiped out quickly. The Nasdaq, pretty much same thing. Up early, Tim Cook spoke, and they sell off. I'm sure they're going to be successful with their products. They usually are, but it's just another Apple event. If you go take a look back at this chart, this big candle here, it's still well above the 10 EMA, and as long as these moving averages are trending higher, this stock is likely to trend higher. And I know the 180 is a kind of a magic number for this stock, but it's likely to trade higher over time. I wouldn't let the one-day event persuade me one way or the other. All right, I want to take a look at the semiconductor stocks because they've been really hot in 2023, and they had this big, massive ramp. This is AMD. And the last couple of sessions, it's been pulling back now down to its 10 EMA, which is this green line here. And I'm thinking if you want to get into one of these strong leading semiconductor stocks, you're going to have to get one off of its moving average. So I'm curious to see how it responds to this pullback to the 10, if it finds support, if it crashes through it down to the 21 or even the 15 and fills this gap here, or if it just finds support and starts ripping higher again. Nobody knows. That's why we come to watch the market here and see how they're going to respond. This is RMBS. Again, another leading semiconductor stock pulled back to its 10 EMA. Will it find support here in balance? I don't know. Will it slice its 21 and pull back to the 50? We don't know. Just take it one day at a time. But these are really strong stocks. They, you look at the blue volume bars. They've been accumulating them. And you just have to wait and see here and see how they respond here as they pull back to their moving averages. This is MRVL. You can see the gap higher after earnings. Now the pullback, this one's still well above its 10 EMA. So it's a little doing a little better than AMD and RMBS. But MRVL is 3.9% above its, really rapidly rising 10 EMA. And I want to see how far they pull back, and when they find support, where are they going to find support? This is a ACLS, and this one again had this nice ramp up, and now it's just trading sideways, allowing the moving averages to catch up. Still 5% above its 10 EMA. I guess I'll go to NVIDIA because that's the big kahuna in the group, and this is well above its 10. And if this stock just bides its time here and just goes sideways for a little bit, I'm okay with that. Let the green line, the 10 EMA, catch up for a few sessions or maybe a week or two at least, and allow the just calm down a little bit and allow the moving averages to catch up. All right, any other semiconductor stocks we're going to look at? Okay, MobileEye. We'll look at this IPO stock. This one's still, forming this base here. and it pulled back to its 10 and actually sliced it and closed below it today. So we'll keep our eye on this one. It did have this sell-off with earnings, and usually when you see a vertical violation like that, you don't see a rally right back through immediately, which is what it did here. So that's pretty impressive move, but now it's pulling back, and it's 1.3% above the 21 and 1.2 below the 10. So it's in between the two. And we're just gonna have to see how this one pans out here. Down after hours here. I don't know what that's all about, but Mobilize, another one I'm keeping my eye on. Retail is really hurting. There's only a few stocks that are shining in retail, but I want to go through them because this is ELF, strong earnings report, and gapped higher, and went above the 100 and then pulled back to it. So it's kind of 100 is kind of like a magnet for me. I would like to see the stock kind of push away from the 100 level. You could see the 10 EMA is just above the 100 at 170 cents, and it's 4.4% above its 10 EMA. So Alpha is doing nothing wrong. You can see it likes to gap up and kind of trade sideways for a little bit. It's done that, a few times in its recent history. Another retail stock that I'm watching is the shoe stocks are they're lagging. A lot of reports that the U.S. consumer is slowing, and companies are reducing prices. But this is Decker sliced its 50 after earnings and rallied back above. Today was up nearly 2%, and just a strong stock, one of the few that's above all of its moving averages in the shoe department. LULU, once again, LULU reported earnings. It had sliced its 50, went down to the 200, reported earnings, and then closed at the low end of the session. You could see that the closing range, daily closing range, 3%. And now today sliced its 50 once again. Just it's a real weak stock now. The retail is tough. I don't even want to show you the ugly ones. These are the good charts. Celsius is one of the stronger retail stocks. It gapped up and then pulled back to its 21, found support, and it's been up the last 4 sessions. Yeah, it had some upgrades and positive remarks about it. And also COCO is another drink, non-alcoholic, and this one is just ramping higher. Talk about a power trend. Pull back to its 50, one time? Well, one time here, and then one time here, and then is just trading above its moving averages and making new highs on a daily basis. So that's a strong retail name. I'm going to go to the biotech stocks, and I cover a couple of these. This is Viking. This one got ahead of itself, had real positive news with their phase 2 trial, and then didn't really respond that well. Pulled back to the 21 and has found support. It looks like it's caught its it's stabilizing and now moving higher. A couple of stocks that had news today that I thought would do better. One is ImmunoGen, is a cancer drug. Now they're going to file for the FDA for approval for their drug in October. I mean, yeah, it bounced off its 10. It's a high type flag, bounced off the 10. If you look at the weekly, you can see the short stroke here about 4 or 5 weeks ago. This big move of 144%, and then just kind of quietly, 4% weak, and then now is moving higher. But you would expect a bigger move. I expected a bigger move after the news that it got today. And another one that was disappointing is Day One Biopharma. They had positive news today from the oncology conference, and it was up like 30-something% in a pre-market, ended up 2.5%. That's why you can't rely on anything going on in pre-market. It's the wild, wild west. Anyway, I'm going to pass on the biotechs today. They're just really lackluster recently. The software names have been doing better. DigitalOcean, this is stage 1 base. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see this like this water park, a slide at the water park, like wee, and then it just stopped going down, formed this little stage 1 base, and now it's ripping higher. I had it on our ready list, but it's extended now. If you buy it, and you're going to get probably shaken out when it pulls back to that 10, but it's a really strong stock. Palo Alto Networks, one of our leading stocks, and it's being included into the S&P 500. It's replacing Dish Network on June 20th. Nice 4.5% gain today. So congrats to the longs of Palo Alto Networks. If you look at the weekly, this is a thing of beauty here, and it's just starting to poke out. And people ask me, like, what do you expect? Well, a breakout from a base, you can expect 10%. So if that buy point there is, it's 215, call it, you can expect maybe 21 points, or maybe 245, somewhere in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see it run up there before forming a new base, but we'll see. We'll just take it one day at a time. CrowdStrike, one of its partners, this one we had a buy point there at 140. And if you took it and boom, it went up like immediately, like more than 10%, then pulled back after earnings back to the 140 after earnings last week, and then has begun another uptrend, just kind of trading higher as it bounced off its 21 there. 140, it's back up to 154 now. So CrowdStrike looks good to me. HashiCorp, they report earnings Wednesday after the bell. This one just pulled back to the 21 today. Maybe some people getting out ahead of the earnings. They don't want any part of what happened to a stock like Okta. It just blew up after earnings. So get out and just wait till after the print, and if it breaks out, then great, then you can get in. Monday, this is another one that is on our watch list, and this is acting well. It's really ramped up. This is broke above its downtrend line here, and then just gapped higher. I guess this is an earnings move, and then now is completing this base. If you look at the weekly chart, you can see once again, like HashiCorp and like DigitalOcean, a lot of the software names look the same. This water park, water slide, stage one base, they stop going down, form a base, and now they start gaining traction and moving higher. A couple other stocks I want to cover is one, of our leading stocks. This is Duolingo. This one has only pulled back to its 51 time this entire year, just making new highs again today. Real strong stock. Spotify, same thing. Same industry group, pull back to its 51 time. It just keeps making new highs. So they're just really strong stocks. A couple other charts caught my eye. Now, you're not going to catch every one of these, this breakout here, but I monitor these just to see how they act and see if they hold their gains or if they come back to moving averages. That's what you don't want to see. You want to see them just kind of trade sideways, make a little flag here, and then resume higher. The other one is IoT. Samsara, they reported earnings. They were up, an ungodly amount on Friday, and then followed through today. What was the gain on Friday? 28%. Yeah, and then followed through today with another, 12% gain. Not too bad. So congrats to the longs there. But like I say, you're not going to catch every one of these. You'd have to hold this through earnings, and then, then you're rewarded. But it could have gone the other way as well. So that's a coin flip. After hours, I do see GitLab trading higher. So we'll see how that one responds tomorrow. It's at 42, so it'll still be below its 200. But it's good to see a positive response to earnings. Anyway, that's it for today. We never give up.